My name is Mara Ellison, and tonight was supposed to be just another polite family dinner, the kind where everyone smiles for appearances but speaks in coded insults sharp enough to draw blood. The reservations were at Bellevue Estate Restaurant, a place with velvet chairs, gold-plated menus, and servers who had mastered the art of pretending not to hear uncomfortable conversations. I sat near the middle of the long white table, the chandelier reflecting off polished silverware as conversations floated around me like distant static. My mother, Vivian, adjusted her diamond bracelet for the 15th time, like she needed the reminder that she was important. My father, Charles, scanned the table with the expression of a man mentally grading everyone present. My older sister, Harper, leaned into her perfect fiancé while whispering something about wedding venues loud enough for me to hear. And my younger brother, Landon, didn't bother hiding the way he checked his reflection on every shiny surface. Every chair around that table belonged to someone who believed their life was a benchmark of success. Every chair except mine. I was the cautionary tale, the family disappointment, the woman who, according to them, let potential slip through her fingers. It wasn't about my career or my choices, it was about one detail they held against me like a stain: I was single. A single mother. A woman who hadn't followed their predetermined script. The first jab came when my mother lifted her glass. To Harper and Damien, she said sweetly, a couple that represents stability, partnership, and a future. Her gaze slid to me. Something everyone should aspire to. A few chuckles around the table. I didn't react. I was used to it. Harper flicked her hair and looked at me like she was passing a torch I never asked for. Mara, I hope tonight inspires you. It's never too late to, work on yourself. People can change. Landon grinned. Maybe next year we'll be toasting your engagement, if you meet someone willing to take on the challenge. They laughed. Not loudly. Softly. Controlled. The way people laugh when they know cruelty won't be punished. My fingers tightened around my napkin, but I stayed silent. Not because I was fragile, but because sometimes silence is the final warning before everything shifts. Because tonight was different. Tonight, they didn't know I wasn't alone. They didn't know the life they mocked was built on assumptions, not reality. And they definitely didn't know who was about to walk through those doors. The waiter had just finished pouring wine when the doors at the front of the restaurant opened, and the room shifted. Not dramatically, but enough that even the waitstaff paused. I didn't turn immediately, I wanted them to hear him before they saw him. His voice was warm, confident, familiar. Sorry I'm late, parking was a nightmare. The table went silent. My mother's smile disappeared like a light switch had been flipped. My father's posture straightened. Harper blinked. Landon nearly dropped his fork. And slowly, I lifted my head. There he was, Rowan Hale. Navy suit, crisp white shirt, the kind of presence that made strangers stop mid-sentence. And the most important part? His eyes found mine, and his entire expression softened, not with obligation, not with performance, but with love. Real love. He walked toward me, ignoring the stunned faces, and leaned down to press a gentle kiss to my cheek. Sorry, love, he murmured. Traffic was brutal. The word love echoed across the table like a grenade. Harper's jaw dropped. Landon slowly mouthed, "Who is that?" My father cleared his throat, trying to reclaim authority. I'm sorry, who exactly? Rowan turned to him with a polite but firm smile. I'm Rowan. Mara's husband. Silence. Honest, breath-stealing silence. My mother blinked rapidly as if processing faulty information. Husband, she repeated. As in married? Rowan nodded casually and took the seat beside me, resting his hand on mine, not possessive, but protective. My father stared. Since when? I let myself breathe, not nervously, but with relief that the truth was finally visible. Almost 2 years. Landon blurted, 2 years? And you just, forgot to tell us? I looked at him calmly. You never asked. Harper leaned forward, voice shaking with outrage disguised as confusion. Mara, we're your family. You don't keep something like that from us. I raised an eyebrow. You don't get to ignore me for years and then act offended you weren't included. Rowan squeezed my hand gently. Silent support, not rescue. Harper scoffed. Marriage is a huge step. Are you even sure you're happy? I turned to Rowan, and he smiled with that quiet certainty that once terrified me because it required trust. Yes, I said simply. I'm sure. My mother finally spoke, voice thin and controlled. And the child? Our daughter, Rowan replied before I could. Her name is Elodie Hale, and she's perfect. The table froze. Not because they cared, but because the narrative they built. The one where I was lonely, fragile, incomplete, had just collapsed. I watched their assumptions crumble behind their eyes. And for the first time in my life, I didn't shrink. I didn't apologize. I simply existed, and that alone shattered them. My father was the first to recover, though the muscles in his jaw worked like he was chewing broken glass. Well, he said slowly, folding his hands, marriage is one thing. A child is another. Children require stability, planning, structure. I hope you're prepared. The implication wasn't subtle. It was the same message they'd repeated for years. They believed I wasn't capable. Rowan leaned back in his chair, still calm. We are prepared, he said. Elodie has everything she needs, love, guidance, opportunity, none of which require approval from this table. My mother swallowed hard. And what exactly do you do, Rowan? The tone was polite, but the meaning was clear, justify yourself. Rowan didn't flinch. I'm a systems architect and co-founder of Hale and Mercer Technologies. Silence again, except this time, it wasn't shock. It was realization. Recognition. Fear disguised as curiosity. Harper forced a laugh. Hale and Mercer? As in, Rowan nodded once. Yes. That one. Landon blinked aggressively. The company that just hit valuation? 800 million, Rowan confirmed casually, as if discussing the weather. My father stiffened, calculating. Harper shifted strategy quickly, switching from superiority to interest. Wow, that's impressive. You must be busy. Mara never mentioned you owned a company. I finally spoke. That's because you never asked anything beyond what made you feel superior. The words landed. Hard. My mother's expression tightened, but instead of defending herself, she leaned forward and asked carefully, So, what exactly is your role, Mara? There it was, the question loaded like a weapon. The assumption that I was merely attached to success, not responsible for any of it. I felt Rowan's gaze on me, not pushing, not prompting, just trusting me to speak for myself. So I did. I'm Chief Creative Officer, I said softly. I helped design the interface, the branding, the user experience, and the original pitch. The company exists because Rowan believed in the vision, but it works because I built the storytelling behind it. Harper blinked. So, you're part of the executive team? More than that, Rowan said, voice firm. She's co-owner. Her shares equal mine. Every head lifted at the same time, like strings pulled taut. I didn't look away. I didn't shrink. I met their stunned faces with the calm I had earned. I wasn't hiding, I said. I was protecting my peace. Harper crossed her arms, voice brittle. So what now? You show up, drop all this, and expect us to applaud? I shook my head. No. I don't want applause. I paused, letting the truth land. I want respect. For a moment, no one spoke. The air felt thick, like the room itself was holding its breath. Then Landon scoffed under his breath, lifting his glass as if he needed alcohol to tolerate the conversation. Respect is earned, Mara, he muttered. Not handed out because you suddenly say you're successful. Harper nodded sharply, relieved someone else said it first. Exactly. Anyone can claim titles and achievements. But we haven't seen anything. People exaggerate. My father gave a slow, approving nod, as if they were delivering some noble truth instead of clinging to denial. Rowan stayed quiet, not out of discomfort, but because he knew I didn't need saving. I inhaled, not to calm myself, but to steady the laugh that threatened to escape. You want proof? I asked softly. Harper raised an eyebrow. It would certainly help. So I reached into my bag and pulled out a slim leather portfolio, one I kept more out of habit than necessity. I set it on the table and slid it toward them. Those are press releases, acquisition offers we rejected, and our company's latest valuation documents. Harper flipped through the papers, her confident expression dissolving with every page. Landon leaned over her shoulder, eyes widening. My father's posture shifted, not relaxed, not impressed, just altered. Like a man reassessing his own reflection. My mother was the last one to look, and when she finally did, the color drained from her face. Mara, she whispered, voice fragile. Why didn't you tell us any of this? I smiled, not a sarcastic smile, not a victorious one, but something tired and honest. Because every time I tried to tell you even a fraction of who I was becoming, you shut me down. You compared me to Harper. You told me I needed to settle, to be realistic, to stop being too ambitious. My mother flinched. My father remained still, silent, unreadable. Harper set the papers down and crossed her arms defensively. Well, congratulations. You're successful. You proved us wrong. What do you want, an apology? I shook my head. No. I'm not here to win. I'm here because despite everything, you are my family, and I thought maybe, finally, we could treat each other like adults instead of roles you've decided we have to play. No one interrupted me. No one rolled their eyes. For the first time in my life, they were listening, not because they wanted to, but because they had no choice. And just when the silence felt unbearably heavy, Rowan cleared his throat and said quietly, there's something else we haven't told you yet. Every pair of eyes locked on Rowan, suspicion, curiosity, panic, like they were bracing for another blow. Even Harper, who had been so loud and dismissive earlier, suddenly sat perfectly still. Rowan placed a hand gently over mine, not as a display, but as a reminder that no matter how ugly or awkward this moment became, I wouldn't face it alone. We didn't just come here to introduce ourselves, he said calmly. We came because there's a decision we needed to make, with all of you fully informed. My mother swallowed hard. A decision? Rowan nodded. Yes. About where our family belongs. My father's brow tightened. Meaning? His voice was controlled, but there was urgency beneath it. He knew. He just didn't want the words spoken aloud. So I said them. Meaning whether we stay here and give you the chance to be part of our lives. Or whether we walk away for good. The silence that followed wasn't quiet, it was devastating. Shock. Ego. Fear. All crashing together. Harper leaned forward. You wouldn't actually cut us off, over what? Some misunderstandings? A few assumptions? I met her gaze evenly. It isn't just one comment or one dinner. It's years. Years of being dismissed. Compared. Talked over. Treated like the invisible option. And now, suddenly, I'm worth acknowledging because my success benefits your pride? Landon muttered, this is ridiculous. No, I said softly. It's overdue. My mother took a shaky breath. Mara, sweetheart, we didn't know. We never realized how our words affected you. I nodded. I know you didn't. Because listening wasn't something you ever needed from me, you expected me to listen. To shrink. My father finally spoke, voice lower than before. And if we say we will do better? If we say I held up a hand. For the first time in my life, he stopped mid-sentence. Promises mean nothing without change, I said quietly. Respect isn't a speech, it's behavior. My mother's eyes filled with tears. Harper's confidence cracked. Landon looked away. And my father, who rarely showed emotion, exhaled like someone realizing they were dangerously close to losing something irreplaceable. Rowan squeezed my hand once before adding, "We don't need acceptance to feel whole. We came because we hoped for connection, not permission." The room felt different now. Softer. Raw. Real. Finally, my mother whispered, "Please, don't leave. Not yet. Give us a chance to show you we can be better." I studied their faces, fear, regret, uncertainty, and finally nodded once. Then earn it. And that was the moment the balance shifted. Not because they welcomed us, but because, for the first time, I wasn't asking to belong, I was choosing whether they deserved a place in my life.